We are live. Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. Make sure that this is muted, and welcome to the Crypto Analyst live stream. Today we're going to be doing some technical analysis. As you guys can see, Bitcoin has broken support. It is currently dumping, and so we're going to really just be talking about what's next. Where can we go from here? What can we expect out of the altcoins and everything along that sort. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But welcome everybody. I know I've been less consistent on live streams, but we're going to make sure that we get this done today. So I want to give everyone a second to join here before we talk too much about it, but something I do want to point out, and I probably will repeat a lot, is that we're finding a little bit of support on the 786. Now this is our last fib retracement before we reach our 100% retracement level, which is something that I said, if we did break the support, is something that we would probably see as we have this upward support line. So just above the 100% retracement level would be our next support, so if we don't hold this. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to make sure that everything is working properly so that people can join, and then we'll move on from there. I can go ahead and push this down a little bit so I can give you guys an outlook of everything that is happening. Oh, that's not right. Sorry about that. Alright, and we're going to quickly send out the invites to the people in our Discord so that they all know. If you guys aren't in the Discord, I highly recommend joining that. I'm always posting in there, always posting cool stuff. Boom. Huh. Boom. Alright, cool. Sorry about that, guys. Had to make sure that that all went out. What's going on, everybody? Let me pull up chat as well so I can actually read what people are saying. And then we'll hold up OBS. And we'll get the show on the road. Gotta make sure I got my live chat over here. There we are. Perfect. Alright, so giving everybody a second to go ahead and join in here before we get too started. But as I said, we are going to be doing some technical analysis today, talking about some fundamentals as well as about really what's happening in the market. A lot of stuff that's happening with Goldman Sachs, because there has been a ton of manipulation, very, very clear manipulation with what's happened with them. We're going to really correlate that to how this is all dropping and how this is playing out. Because it's a very, very odd situation, but not something that we haven't ever seen before. So we're going to be correlating that, making the fundamentals make sense with the TA, because I do believe the two respect each other. And it's very rare that you see the fundamentals are just amazing and then the TA just kind of crashes, right? So you don't see those two differentiate too often. But first things first, as we said here, we are again, we are finding resistance against the 6.8, the 618. Not ideal for what we want to see. Pretty much, again, if you're not going to break the 618, you do have a pennant breaking out, a bearish pennant. So since this is falling down in a pennant forms, this is classified as a bearish pennant. Probably about 60% chance of breaking down, 40% chance of breaking up. So with this 618 being used as resistance as well, what you do is you classify yourself here and you really put yourself in a bad situation. And you're really just asking, it's really just a matter of time before you break down to the 786, just because of how you could not hold a simple fib or support level. Again, as I talked about in my video a couple of days ago, we talked about how, of course, this was a horrible buy. I can't tell you guys not to buy here, but I said I would never buy at the highest risk possible. Of course, 12 hours later, we fell around $1,000 to the support where I said that we would. I said if we don't hold this, we're going to fall right down here to like 6,400. Sure enough, that's where we fell to. And now, of course, I said if we can't hold this support level, which is not necessarily the strongest anymore, I said we are going to come back down and see this upwards support line, which is probably going to be our next touch. So again, if the 786 doesn't hold, we're getting a little bit of support right there now, but again, this support is significantly weaker than what we've had up here. So if these two couldn't hold, I think it's going to be a hard time for the 786 to hold. So I think it's just a matter of time here. before we come back down, touch this bottom support line that we have over here that we've previously touched 3 times. Probably put a 4th touch on it. If this can't hold, of course, we're going to be in a little bit deeper of waters because the next drop is fairly significant. I mean, you pretty much have no leeway once you break this support down here. But again, we do have to get through the 786 fib. Break that, you're going to be touching this support probably somewhere around $5,900. You break that, you're going to have very, very little support around 5,700, which is our all-time low of the year. Again, you really don't have too much. You just kind of have a couple candles, a little bit of wicks down here, nothing too significant. So you really want to make sure you're holding above this, because if you break this, you're going to be using this declining support line that we have, which is not ideal, not what you want to be in. And the drop on that is going to be pretty hefty. So you're going to probably land yourself right around $5,000 flat. Which is a very big psychological barrier and a lot of things that people have been talking about. Now, if you look over at 5,000, that's when you start really seeing support again. Of course, we do have some support over in here, right around 5,700. It's nothing too significant. You do have a decent amount of candle body closings over here, so it will act as a little bit of support, but ideally this is where you're going to hit a next major level of support if you keep on falling here. So I guess you do have these candle body closings over here from the yearly low, along with a little bit of consolidation from the end of last year, but breaking that, of course, you are going to probably be seeing a $5,000 Bitcoin. Which isn't like ideal, right? So it's a big hot topic right now of where's the bottom of Bitcoin going to be? Where are we going to go? Is it going to hit 1K? Is it going to hit 3K? Is it going to hit 5K? You know, is this it? Is it over already? I've said in numerous videos, I don't think the bear market's over. I said, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to hold these levels. Sure enough, we didn't. Now we're falling back down and not really showing too much of bullish divergence yet. I mean, if you pull up the MACD, it's just like very clear call. I marked this I want to say at least a week ago. So what was this, September 18th? So maybe it wasn't a week ago. Well, oh, okay, no. So yeah, this was September 1st. So yeah, it had to have been about a week ago now. Marking this, of course, this is where we see your next form of bullish divergence. Extremely small after so much negative momentum. You can expect that this is going to come back down, and you might be able to find yourself in a little bit of bullish divergence, like double bullish divergence, probably something like along the lines of this. You'll probably come back down, see some bearish momentum here. Hopefully it won't be nearly as big as this. Now what I do want to point this out, if you do get bearish divergence that is bigger than this and you end up pointing downwards, that's really bad, because this is the highest level of negative momentum that we've seen since, I don't even know, we have to scroll all the way over here to find it. Highest level of negative momentum that you've seen since March. So keep that in mind. It's been about 5 months since we've even seen this so much of negative momentum in the market. So again, not ideal if you are a bull. If you're bear, you're probably loving this right now because you're shorting Bitcoin to death. I remember looking at, I came home, I'm a part of a couple Discord groups, and I came home and I saw people with like 500, 300% gains. As a guy that I know named Andrew, and he's like, oh man, I love coming home and making more in one trade than I do in a week at work. And man, that's nice. So if you're shorting right now, or if you have been shorting, I don't want to say just short right now, don't FOMO into shorting, but if you have been shorting, then you're probably sitting pretty nice, because just because of all the bear volume that you've had in here. Of course, this is our RSI, stands for the Relative Strength Index. No matter how we talked about this in one of our last videos, no matter how you looked at this, it was bearish divergence everywhere. Literally just a matter of time. Until this broke down any further. You're getting lower lows, higher levels of negative volume, lower levels of positive volume. This crashed, and so here's the good part. All right, so I talked about on the MACD about how this could be looking bullish in the future. Of course, I think this is going to have another leg down before you see any kind of bull volume, but what you can see here is you want to make sure you hold this level of 17.2 on the RSI. And so why is that significant? Well, one, you haven't seen this this level of volume since June on your RSI, but also because what you could do here is create your first level of bullish divergence doing something like this. So we're going to draw a support line here. Hopefully you come down and bounce off of this. Again, this is all kind of theoretical right now, but we're predicting about, like, you know, based upon my experience and what I have in the market, it would probably look something like this. Now, bullish divergence. It would come down, you create a higher high, a very slightly higher high, but a higher high nonetheless, and you'd probably trickle. So you'd have very, very slight higher highs, probably like what we've seen. Well, this might be a good example of over here. So right, so we got extremely oversold over here. Let me go ahead and circle this. You came up, you're slowly making higher highs. Of course, you had a giant price flux in volume. Let me scroll over here, and then of course here we go. There's the RSI that we love to see. So it probably looks something like this. It'd probably take a couple weeks. I mean, again, these things don't recover overnight. It's very rare that you see them do. But that's what it's looking like for Bitcoin. So of course, lower levels of negative volume or of negative momentum would be nice. Followed over here on the RSI, it would be nice to see something along the lines of this. See ourselves come back down here. You know, get our negative volume and then bounce off this, and then you have double bullish divergence. Maybe what you could do here is if you even divide this, you could come back down for a third leg, get triple bullish divergence, and the climb on Bitcoin would be pretty high if we saw something along the lines of that. So again, it's not looking bullish yet. You have no signs of bullish divergence at all. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. You're looking pretty bearish right now. So again, buying right now is probably a risky thing, but I can't tell you what you can and cannot do. Welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody who has joined in here. Great to have all of you guys. I'll make sure I'm not getting any messages over here on Discord. All right. Perfect. Boom. All right, so yeah, so let's talk a little bit. So now that we've pretty much got all the TA stuff out of the way, again, this is such a very, very weak level for your fib retracement. I'd be astonished, shocked if you hold the 786 here. Personally, I don't think it is, but we're going to leave this up and we're going to kind of be watching it as we're talking. So if you guys don't know what happened here, we're going to talk about a little bit of the manipulation that happened in this area, but how it kind of correlated with the TA. And so that all has to do and take place with Goldman Sachs. If you guys don't know who they are, you know, very, very large company. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Most people know who they are, right? So you have Goldman Sachs. They came in here, wanted to enter into the crypto space. A bunch of lies got put out about them. And then a news article got released saying they canceled all their crypto plans and they're now exiting cryptocurrencies and gave up on it. So what happened is someone released a false statement about Goldman Sachs. They said, you know, we never were canceling our crypto plans. This was all a lie. And so what you had is you had a fake article come out manipulating the market saying Goldman Sachs was quitting cryptocurrencies. And then after that, the market tanked. Everyone's like, oh, Goldman Sachs gave up. They're one of the biggest, you know, like financial banks in the world right now. Crypto is screwed. And then you had a massive dump. Of course, the technical analysis was saying that we were going to dump, but this all is happening at the exact same time. Kind of coincidental. Whether you want to believe that that's like actually a coincidence or not. But after that point, you saw the dump in the market. You had everyone exiting. You had so many short positions, and pretty much everyone got wrecked. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But what happened now is Goldman Sachs it came out and they were like, well, this never happened. We were never quitting cryptocurrencies. That's a fake article. And so now you have people getting involved because they're like, oh, it's clear manipulation. And what you had is you had before the news got released about Goldman Sachs exiting cryptocurrencies and giving up on it, you had I think it was a $74 million short. A $74 million short. Like, that's insane. You don't see anyone in a single short do $74 million ever. Like, that is such a bold move. No one would make a $74 million short with leverage unless they knew something was about to happen. Of course, they did it right up here, right at the top, and then the news got released and it tanked. So, I mean, people aren't stupid. If you know what that means or what that is, you're looking at this and saying, all right, well, that's obvious insider trading, because you don't have a company like Goldman Sachs come out and say, hey, we're quitting cryptocurrency, say, hey, we were never quitting, that's a fake article, and then you have a $74 million short right before the announcement. I mean, it's just clear as day as something's going on behind the scenes that the common folk as us are not aware of. So again, it's kind of frustrating to have to deal with that and how people can get away with just silly things like that. But Another thing I want to talk about here. So a couple things we want to talk about. Hey, what's up, Skyward One? Welcome, dude. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you guys are, hit the like button. Helps spread the love, get some more people in here. And always feel free to share the link. You know what I should do? I should actually probably just post the link on my Twitter, because that's where we get a lot of people from. And people like love coming in from Twitter because they're always looking at crypto stuff on there. Stock Tweets is another good place, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna post this right here. Boom. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and post that. Awesome. So let's go ahead and back here and go back into the TA. So I was talking to someone about whether or not this could be classified as a descending triangle, right? And personally, I don't think it can, and we'll talk about that in like a second here. But so first off, you have numerous amounts of touch points. We can zoom out here and even create this more so along the lines of this. So if we're gonna really make ourselves a descending triangle here, it would look a lot like this. So here's our resistance line up top, but then where would we find our flat level of support, right? So what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to zoom in. This is gonna probably, you know what, I'm actually gonna make this onto the 1 day, so it's not quite as clustered. It's a little bit easier for us to read. But here's the deal about the 1 day. Actually, it might be better to look at on the 4 hour. Yeah, you know, actually we are going to have to look at this on the 4 hour. So here's the deal of why I don't believe you can call this a, and you know, it's actually going to look too crazy for me to draw all this with what I have on here right now. You have all 4 of your recent lows, all 4 of your swing lows from all of this being in separate places. So here you have 6,000, here you have 6,400, down here you have 5,700, and over here you have 5,900. So all 4 of these swing lows, no matter how you look at this, I mean, even over here, 6,100. None of these swing lows correlate anywhere. So if we're going to line up with this, of course, this wouldn't line up with anything. You'd just be cutting through all of these wicks. If we put ourselves down here, again, this is not touching any other wicks. You're not even cutting through anything at this point. You only have 1 touch point, and you can't make a descending triangle with 1 touch point. You can't make it on this one because you're cutting through like a billion candles, and you can't make it anywhere over here for the same reason. So none of these even line up. Now, if what you saw here is if you saw like this being played out more frequently, oh no, that's not what I wanted. If you saw this being played out more frequently, right, and you had a flat level of support down here, and say, you know, this did swing down low, say that this did come down, touch this, and then this came down and touched this, and then this came down and touched this, and then this one comes down and touches this. So then you'd have 4 touches, and that would be great, and that would make a perfect descending triangle, and Bitcoin would about to be just completely wrecked. But what you have here is you don't have that playing out at all. In fact, none of these candle body closings, none of these lows are even touching each other. So when you're looking at this, you can't help and think that this can't be a descending triangle for the sheer factor of none of these swing lows have ever even come within $100 of each other, which is a pretty significant time range. So you can't look at this and say, oh, this must be a descending triangle because of the resistance line. Now again, the resistance line looks like class A descending triangle, but you come down here and you gotta set up a support line, because that's the line. It's arguably the support line is more important in a descending triangle than a resistance line, because the support line determines when it breaks and at what price it breaks, and you need to have at least 3 touches. I mean, it's the most important part. So you can't call this a descending triangle. And again, the measured move on a descending triangle like this would be, you'd put Bitcoin under $1,000 for a measured move of something like this. So it really wouldn't make any sense in the first place. I was talking to someone about this the other day. Again, it wouldn't make any sense for you to have a descending triangle over here. The measured move would be completely absurd. Would not make a whole lot of sense at all. I mean, you'd have to ignore everything that happened over here for that to happen. And you just don't have the support for it over here. So that's my belief as to why a descending triangle would not make nearly any sense right here. Something I do want to check out one more time. Let's look at our MACD over here. So our oscillators are swinging here. Something to note, actually, let's go ahead and talk about this. So this is next. Let's go ahead and talk about this. You are seeing consistently lower levels of negative momentum on your MACD oscillators. What I mean by this is pretty much this, right? Come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and we're actually going to look at this on the daily because I feel like that would give us a better, yeah, this will give us a better view. So let's talk about what I mean over here. So here's our oscillators on our MACD. So essentially so much negative volume over here, less negative volume, less negative volume, less negative volume. Each time we're swinging down, we're seeing lower levels of negative momentum on our daily. Now this is something to note. Of course, this is very significant, it's very impactful because what you're seeing over here is that the positive volume's almost exactly the same. So in a sense, you could say, again, this is, you can't really do this with TA, so take that in the mind. But if you were using oscillators to do technical analysis over here, what you could do is literally create an ascending triangle using your MACD oscillators, which is good because what you're seeing is the same levels of positive diverge. You're seeing the same levels of positive volume over here, same levels of positive of bullish divergence, and lower levels of bearish divergence. So the bearish divergence is slowly dying out, but you're keeping your positive momentum over here. So that's something good. So eventually, what you should do in theory, if this was like a technical analysis of candles, you should come up and either hit this again, then bounce, and then shoot out. Because what you're doing here is you're breaking through sell walls. So people are selling here, you hit the wall, you take out like 20% of it, you hit it again, maybe you take out 30% this time, you hit it again, maybe take out another 30%, then you hit it this time, and by this time the wall's already so weak, so you should be able to break out of it. So in theory, if this was a candle chart, that's what it would look like. But something to note here, and this is again something that people don't take advantage of when looking at the MACD and other oscillators, is that when you look at this, you got to see you're seeing lower levels of negative volume consistently each time you have a swing low on your daily scale, which is a very, very significant scale. So again, keep that in the mind. I haven't looked at the monthly the weekly in a while, but the weekly was just shouting imminent market reversal. Not imminent, but like on the scale of a weekly. So let us talk about this. Let's go ahead and delete all this crap. That's not what we wanted. Make sure we can... Skyward, I saw you said something. I'm not ignoring you, dude. Let's come on down to 5,700 or so. Make triple bullish divergence on our MACD. Let's go. Yeah, dude, that would be great. That would be a great scenario. I mean, it'd be clear, easy buy, right? So this is our MACD on our weekly scale. Keep in mind, this has taken place. This is since the beginning of 2018, right here. This is the beginning of the year. So what you've seen here now is consistently lower levels of negative volume. I mean, we haven't scored any positive volume since like the very, very beginning of 2018, like the very beginning of January, but the entire year you've been seeing lower levels of negative momentum. So, I mean, this is just looking like, hey, this market reversal could be happening very shortly. Ooh, excuse me. Have the hiccups. I mean, so just like look at these. Look at some of these bigger time scales. These are things that you want to look at. You just can't help but think that the market's looking to reverse here within the next couple months. Now, when I say it's going to reverse, I don't think that we're going to just blow up and hit $50,000. I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that's realistic. When I say that we're going to have a market reversal, what you could do is test. What I mean by that is you could test some of these higher highs that we've had over here. So maybe $8,500, maybe $10,000, maybe even $11,700. I think it's $11,700 dollars. So I think this would be a great area to retest over here. I think what you could do is you could retest this level and then come back down. Again, this would take a lot of time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but looking to the future, if this market reversal was to end or was to happen within the next couple of months, I think you could start seeing yourself retest one of these 3 levels. Ideally, I think we would retest up here and then arguably fall back down, need some more time to consolidate, need some more time to get strength before even touching this. So I don't think this is going to break anytime soon, the $20,000 cap that we had on Bitcoin. But what's chat saying? All good, brother? Yeah. What's up, Skylar, dude? Skyward. Always great having you in here. Nikki Chala said short or long BTC. So I can't tell you what you should and shouldn't do because I'm not a professional financial advisor. But what I'm currently doing right now is waiting to see. So again, you don't want to short after it all happens. You don't want to like get down here and FOMO in shorting and be like, oh well, I'm going to short even though we're at support right here. So what you'd want to do ideally is to see if you can break and hold below support, then you would short, right? So ideally what I would do is trying to word this correctly, right? So ideally if you broke below your 786 and you were holding below it, you would fall pretty fast to this bottom support line. So what I would do is I would short from here to here, probably put my my liquidation price down here, and then that would be your short. Now I can't tell you to do that, but right now you probably it wouldn't be a good idea for me to short because we're right here at support at the 786 fib retracement. Again, we're finding support here. It's very clear. You had a piercing candle, not being able to poke through it all. So what you had is your piercing candle. So you have a candle wick down here, but you have your candle body closing still above the 786. So you're still holding support. Now, I don't personally think that this is going to hold for all that much time. I think it's just going to be a matter of time. Again, you couldn't hold your 6.8, your 618. I don't think you're going to be able to hold your 786 either. So I think you're going to come down here and get pretty close to 100% retracement. But ideally, if you're a bull here, what you want to see is you want to see a higher high. So you want to make sure that you land yourself above the 7,000, above 5,000, and well, ideally it would be 5,850. Again, it wouldn't be near as bad if you did make sure that you were above 5,700. Because everyone likes double bottoms, right? Everyone loves to see a double bottom because they see it as a bullish continuation pattern, but it's really not. It's really not. So what I mean by this is double bottoms are great because they always have a bounce, but it's not a bullish bounce. So just because you double bottom and you bounce, it doesn't mean it's not necessarily good for the price action of Bitcoin. So you bounce and that's great and you can ride the bounce, but then you're going to come down to lower lows. So usually that's why you don't want to see a double bottom, because it's not a sign of a market reversal. It's actually the opposite. So for the most part, you don't want to see a double bottom here. You do want to see a higher high or a higher low on the price action of Bitcoin. So whew, we talked about a lot of good stuff. I might actually do a separate video on this, so we can actually have a separate video talking about all of this. But yeah, just lots of stuff happening over here. Lots of freaking stuff happening. Again, if you guys weren't here, I was talking about Goldman Sachs and how that all played and correlated out with all this. I do want to take a look at Ethereum because Ethereum has been in the news a lot lately for having some problems, and the price action of it and all of the altcoins have been tanking. Now, again, talked about this before too. We are up at resistance here, this massive resistance line on Ethereum. I mean, look at this thing. This thing has been around since literally the beginning of the year, since the beginning of January. What happened? It's getting respected. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 touches on it. I mean, come on, mad respect on this line of resistance over here. And so we said over here, hey, we're about to touch resistance. Everyone's happy because Ethereum's going all the way from $240 all the way up to $310, and everyone's celebrating, right? But you don't want to FOMO in here, and why? So, and I talked about why this was the highest, the highest level of risk, essentially, because this is on a very, very well established line of resistance. Of course, it pretty much touched this thing and then tanked. It could not hold. It broke through the 50-day EMA, and now you're on your way down to support who knows where, right? So you're finding a little bit of support because of these candle body closings over here, but it probably won't be enough to hold up the price of Ethereum. What you can do here is talk about the bigger time scale, and then that this is a massive falling wedge. I mean, Class A, you have one touch point, several touch points in here, and you're looking for your third right here. So ideally, I mean, I charted this a while ago, and it's playing out perfectly. you would come down here, and then you would bounce, and then break out. Now, it's not going to be like that. Sorry, that looked like a moon chart. We're not drawing moon charts in here. But you would come down here, and then you would probably, hopefully, ideally, if this is a respected falling wedge, you do have a good chance of breaking out here. So, ideally, what I would want to do is, if I wanted to buy Ethereum at the best price possible, it would be down here somewhere along this support line, which it looks like it could be heading to here. I mean, Ethereum looks like it's about to break. It is about to break back into the $100 zone. So that's crazy. Wow. Seeing Ethereum below $200. We're actually going to be seeing that here in a second, which is crazy. It's at $200.18 on Ethereum. Woo. Cheap stuff. So, another thing I want to talk about is, I've mentioned this before. When you had this great time of FOMO up here, when everything was just going to the moon, right? Man, it was over $1,400. It's just weird looking at it now. But so when you had this great big time of FOMO up here and all the coins were blowing up, Ethereum heading to the great unknown. I mean, right now it looks like it. I don't know if we can, like the great unknown. It's a funny term, but like. Some people are saying that, like, actually they're like, Ethereum's gonna die here in the next month, and I'm like, it's really not. Granted, I think EOS is a better version of Ethereum, but like, I don't think Ethereum's just gonna die. I think it's gonna be around for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to hit a lot of support in here. I wouldn't be surprised if it holds down. I don't think it's gonna go under $100. I saw people that were claiming like. They were like $50 Ethereum or something, just like these absurd things so that people would watch their videos or like look at their charts. Like total clickbaits. Yeah, I'm in here because of Ethereum. Yeah, dude, Ethereum. I recently, dude, bought my first full piece of Ethereum. I've traded it before, but like I've never traded an entire one. And so I was like, you know what? It's looking pretty nice, and I literally bought it at like $250. So I mean, again, I don't regret that. I'm more of a hodler, if that makes any sense, right? So I know what I'm doing, and I do trade. I have two things there right now. I have my cryptocurrency that I trade, and I have my cryptocurrency that I hold. So they're like two different things. So I have my trading source, like I have a set amount that I trade, and then I have all of my set ones that I just own, and I'm just gonna hold and not touch those ones. So I guess that makes sense. So I have like X amount of Ethereum, X amount of EOS, X amount of God, I can't, BAT. I don't want to like say all the coins that I hold, but I just don't touch those ones. X amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. So Ethereum is I'm getting a phone call. I'll call him back momentarily. Ethereum is going to be big in 2019 when a lot of apps based on it are go live. Any thoughts on Cardano ADA? Yes, I do. I'll get to those next. I won a contest and got paid in Ethereum. Never had crypto before. So yeah, dude. Ethereum. Yeah, again, I think it's going to be a big part of the future for cryptocurrencies. It's pretty much the father of smart contracts, and I don't think it's going to be something that just dies out in a year. I think that's very unlikely, and Vitalik would have to do something. The lead developer of Ethereum, I think he'd have to do something extremely crazy for Ethereum to die. That's awesome, dude. What kind of a contest did you do to get paid in Ethereum? Because that's pretty cool. I need to enter some of those. Oh, so Brian Wellington. So before I talk about Cardano ADA, let me just talk about the Ethereum comment real fast. So Ethereum, right? So Ethereum, EOS, and I forget the third one that all have smart contracts on them right now. There's only oh man, there's just a study that came out. Essentially, it was in a nutshell, it was saying that there are three platforms that have over 100 users a month or something like that. And Ethereum had 5, EOS had 3, and some other one had 1. It might have been Cardano. But it was kind of scary, saying the actual amount of people using smart contracts aren't enough yet. And what you need is you need more people essentially using these dApps, these decentralized applications and smart contracts. That's what you need. But it's also a good thing, because if you're looking at it and you're saying, well, if there's only a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 people a month using these decentralized applications, and the price of Ethereum is like X amount right now, what happens when 10,000 people use these decentralized applications? Or what happens when even one city, like the city of like, I don't know, whatever, 1 million people. One city is just like 1 million people. I mean, there's 7 billion people in the world right now. So what happens if like just 1 million of those people start using decentralized applications, right? If there's only like a couple thousand right now, what would happen if 1 million or 2 or 3 or 4 million people started using these things? Again, you would see the price dramatically increase. So it just reminds you of how much of the infancy that crypto is still in here. I mean, it's still just getting going. It's still just getting started. I was listening to a guy who was a Vietnam veteran, and he was saying, yeah, dude, I think his name's Robert Kiyosaki. I think he's also the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you guys have ever read that. Essentially, he was a Vietnam veteran, and he was saying, hey, I was over in Vietnam, and in 1972, gold was illegal to own. And so what we did is, when we were over in Asia, we would go around to China and to some of these Vietnam and Viet Cong villages, and we would get gold and trade them for it, and we would get it illegally. And so the price of it was so cheap back then, but it was still illegal to add. There were so many legal issues with it. And he's saying now what you're seeing today is you have virtual gold, essentially cryptocurrencies, and now you're having all these legal issues with the government getting involved and all that. He's like, I think that the virtual gold is essentially the gold of today. So what you have is, we have a virtual world today. Everything that you do, your phone, your computer, your lifestyle, everything's virtual now. The internet, like, it is our life. Everyone revolves around it. And so what you have is, you have him coming out and saying, this is going to be the gold of today. You're having the exact same issues as it did in 1972 with the government being skeptical about it, since they took gold off of the US dollar standard completely. They banned it. And so now what you have, the same thing happening with cryptocurrencies, is we have this completely technological world with a people's currency that the government doesn't have control over, and you have essentially him. Hopefully that made any sense. I kind of like got lost in my thoughts there, but essentially comparing gold and the issues that it had, or not the issues, but like how the government treated it, to how the government's treating cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin today, and it's very, very similar. And so that's why he was like, I'm buying cryptocurrencies because it's the gold of your age. Gold might not have another run like it did from 1970 to 2010, but because the run on that was ridiculous. The price action of gold was it was literally a chart exactly like this. I can actually pull them up here and put them side by side versus Bitcoin, and then we'll go back into some technical analysis. I know we're going to talk about Cardano a little bit. Oh, here it is. Perfect. So this is essentially the gold and the Bitcoin chart. Now, do these not look extremely similar? I think I've done a video on this before, but of course you have your kind of flatline uptrend, dip, uptrend right here, then another dip, then of course takeoff. I mean, they just look extremely similar. They really do. And of course, this is what happened with the price action of gold. And so people are asking themselves, since it's called the virtual gold, is this what's going to happen next on gold? So, or on cryptocurrency. So, something to note, not something to be like freaking out about, but yeah. Let me pull back up the live stream over here. Anyway, wow, so poker contest, virtual poker, dude. I love some good poker. ADA possibly going to 5 cents before we bounce. Let's hope it holds support. Well, yeah, dude, we'll take a look at the technical analysis. Sorry, I just hit my computer. Also, BTC is very dependent. Yeah, it is very BTC dependent. Everything is. For a while, the alts were following Ethereum instead of Bitcoin again. It looks like they're starting to follow Bitcoin more often now. Dude, that's so cool. Winning Ethereum from poker. Dude, you need to send me a link, dude. I want to play some Bitcoin. I want to play some poker for Ethereum. I could be crazy, but I'm really hoping that Ethereum could take off in 2019 when a lot of the apps go live. If that doesn't, that's when I get concerned about its viability. But yeah, that's understandable. Thanks. I was like 1 in 1 million chance to win, I think. As a global contest. That's crazy. How much did you get? Like a lot? You don't have to tell me how much, but like, did you get like at least one Ethereum? Because that'd be dope. I mean, that'd be sick. That's crazy looking at like that. Yeah, I mean, it is. And again, so this is my specialty, right? I'm a fundamental analyst. I love historical analysis, and I love comparing like literally just the fundamentals of Bitcoin to other things such as gold and fiat currencies and real estate, and that's just like what I do. And so now that I understand technical analysis pretty well, I can compare these things, and it's cool because most people have never seen this stuff before. They just see people talking about the charts of Bitcoin and whether or not it's going to be up and down, but they never correlate it to anything. They never correlate it to news, they never correlate it to another market, and they never correlate it against itself. I mean, I've done a full correlation of Bitcoin in the market right now to its 2014 market counterpart, and people never see that stuff because people are honestly too lazy or they're just oblivious as to what happened. So yeah. 10 winners at random. That's crazy. Win and enter. It's one of those contests where you're like, I'll never win this. 12.5 Ethereum. Whew. That would, I mean, that's great. That's awesome. Think about it. I mean, if Ethereum ever hits its all-time high again and you have 12.5 Ethereum and they're at almost $1,500 a piece, you're sitting nice. Sold half right away. I mean, you're probably loving that decision right now, right? Because they're at $200. Anyway, let's take a look at Cardano. Enough talking. But we talk, but we don't talk that much. What's today's date? The 8th? Alright. Let's take a look at Cardano. I mean, yeah, this is like some of our previous calls from a while ago of being like, signal something big is going to happen. Oh, there it is. Signal something big is going to happen. Oh, there it is. All right, so now let's talk about what, let's go ahead and delete all this. I cannot quite delete this. All right. First things first. We are going to be drawing 2 lines of resistance off of this immediately. This is looking very, very similar to Ethereum. So we're going to have 2 lines of resistance, and we're going to hold those over there. Line of support is going to be, we're going to have 2 lines of support as well. So first is going to be our last swing low. Well, we don't really have another one, so maybe we can. Yeah, we're actually not going to be able to do that one. That's unfortunate. What we can do over here is do something along the lines of this. Boom. So that's going to be line number 1. That's going to be support line number 1. Support line number 2 is going to look something along the lines of this. And then we're going to have actually no, and so that's going to be our 2 support lines actually. Fair enough. Or actually, can we compare this to anything else? No, we can't. So we want to make sure that this is as accurate as possible before we dive in, right? You did the right thing selling some. That's a lot of Ethereum. You could learn how to trade and use your Ethereum to swing trade. Yeah, dude, you really could. I know I may rebuy more actually and hold till 2019. Yeah, I'm super new to crypto and learning. Yeah, dude, that's great. Well, if you ever want to learn, dude, hit the subscribe button. I'm always pumping out videos. I'm always talking about news. I'm always talking about charts. I do a lot of fun stuff on here. And then I also have a Discord where I'm constantly posting stuff. And I have Twitter and all that too. So again, feel free, dude. I'm very, very involved with my community. So if you ever have any questions, dude, feel free to ask. Because this channel, we just keep it real. We don't put out any fake news or pump things. So let's talk about this. Ooh, that is a dime. Dang. So, alright, I know how I want to put this out now. What we need to do here is we need to change the color of this to like red. Nah, no, red's not gonna be good. Blue? Yeah, blue. Sorry guys, this is taking so long. I want to make sure I get this right. So, 2 things here. We have a channel and we have a falling wedge. Now, which one's gonna play out first? We're gonna have to wait and find out. But this is ideally what we're looking at. So, of course, the yellow is the falling wedge. The blue is our channel. If you're a bull, what you want to see play out here is you want to see the you want to see the falling wedge play out, because that's more bullish than the downwards channel, because the downwards channel is pretty large right now. Oh, it's so hard to put. Is this... That's hard. Because if you're making a parallel channel here, it almost squeezes towards the top. Anyway, let's talk about the wedge first. I'm sorry, I'm super ADD. If we're talking about this wedge, first of all, we're going to do something along the lines of this. It's going to squeeze down here. So if you do respect this falling wedge on Cardano, you're coming down pretty far here to your, to a low that you haven't seen in a very, very long time. My God, dude, this chart is ridiculous. So keep that in mind. We can always look at this on the 1 day, and it'll be a little bit clearer for us. But it's pretty obvious here that you're either in a channel or a falling wedge. You're gonna find out soon right here. So if you are in this channel, what you would do, ideally, if you do respect this channel, is that you're gonna come down. You're gonna touch support down here at around 1,112 satoshis, or 1,100 satoshis, and hopefully bounce and touch the top of this channel, because what that would do is that put you over your 50-day EMA, and also out of this giant falling wedge that you've been in here for quite some time now. So ideally, you'd want to get yourself out of this. And can we actually... that's neat. So that makes it even bigger. That is not what you want to see. So, again, this is kind of a hard one right now, because you're pretty much reaching new lows over here. So, you don't have any kind of previous low to bounce this or correlate this off of. But, yeah, anyway, let me go ahead and go through chat. Learning how to read charts like Brendan here will enable you to look at and stock up on crypto and recognize trends. People who learn how to read charts become immune to FOMO. Yeah, you really do, dude. I used to be, oh my God, dude. I used to be horrible with FOMO, dude. It was bad. It was just, it's so easy to fall into. But now, you don't, it's not to say that you're immune to FOMO, but you just know like essentially where it's gonna go before it does anything. So when I saw, a great example of that is when, and I guess I'll finish up this here, but I want to go through and show a great example of FOMO and like why I don't FOMO anymore. FOMO doesn't affect me anymore. Anyway, so Cardano, I just want to make I talk about this for, I think it was someone was talking about it. I think it was RM. So for Cardano here, ideally you would find 2 levels of support down here. First support is going to be right here around 1,150 for your channel. If even lower, you're going to come down to around, probably around 800 or 900, somewhere around here. So 2 levels of support down here. You want to make sure you hold those, because man, if you don't, you could be looking at a full 100% retracement since this thing has ever had a low, since it came out of ICO. So. But let me take a look at the MACD and the RSI real fast, because that's what you want to see. Well, it was pretty obvious as to what happened over here. This is just perfect bullish divergence. Oh my God. Settings. So if you're looking at this and you're saying, man, I wonder how this could play out. You had a high over here. You're seeing consistent lower levels of negative volume on your MACD. You're seeing it on your oscillators as well. Here, this played out perfectly. 1, 2, 3, these all touched together. Triple bullish divergence. You saw price action rise. Now you're seeing lower levels of positive momentum come down. And you saw this playing out fairly easily. So as soon as you saw the volume dropping off here, you saw this start tanking, you would immediately correlate, hey, lower levels of positive momentum, you're coming down here. So now you're going to figure out what happens, and most likely you are going to break down. Now, ideally, what you'd want to do is have a higher or a lower low. Not like lower in the sense that you were here, but like a higher low, essentially. Because what that would allow you to do is come down, maybe touch over here, and then you could have more bullish divergence. So it could be something along the lines of that, and you'd have more bullish divergence. So again, it's hard to do some of these altcoins right now just because of how funky they are. But ideally, if you're a bull, that's what you'd want to see for Cardano. So let's go ahead and move back to Bitcoin. So why do you not want to FOMO, right? Well, FOMO gets you into all sorts of trouble, but also if you know TA well enough, you don't get stuck in the whole FOMO train, which is a disaster to be stuck in, and it always sucks because you get like anxiety in it. So when this was all happening, right, everyone is freaking out. Everyone is making all these 9K, 8K Bitcoin predictions, and I was laughing the entire time. Not at people losing money, but at just how people are so naive to think that this is just shooting up to the moon. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean, this is a clear rising wedge, and you're at the top of a channel, and so people are all FOMOing in up here, and I can't tell you guys not to buy here, but I did make a video explaining why I would never buy at this level, and so I made a video about that, and sure enough, 12 hours later, it crashed over $1,000. So FOMO for me up here, this was like insane. If you know technical analysis, if you've been in any kind of markets and know market analytics like at all, you're looking at this and saying this is the highest risk one could ever take. Like, you're testing all-time high, you're testing your highs over here, and you're at the top of a rising wedge, and you're at the top of a channel, and you had bearish divergence on your MACD, and you had triple bearish divergence on your RSI. So for me, it's not like I'm fear of missing out, I'm fear of losing everything. I'm looking at this and saying, man, it looks like a hurricane's about to come in and just wipe this thing out. So like, why would I want to buy over here? So I don't even have the thought process of FOMO in my head anymore, because I know what's going on behind the scenes, and I know that like something big is about to happen, and it's like 90% chance that it's going to happen towards the downside. So that's why you saw me selling up here. So it's not like I'm just like immune to FOMO. It's more of like I know what's going to happen, so I don't FOMO, if that makes any sense. Technical analysis, I should say, dude. It's taken me a long time. So essentially what you have is you have me over the course of the past 9 months putting in a couple hours a day, like literally a couple hours every single day, and dedicating myself to technical analysis. And it's hard to do at times, but like it's rewarding. It's like another language. It like is. It's just like kind of weird, but it's so rewarding. If you have the time, I would highly recommend it. Would you call that a price? Oh, sorry. What were you talking about? Yo, Brian Wellington, no problem, my man. Great to have you here. Skyward said, would you call that a price contraction before a breakout? Oh, sorry. What were you talking about, Skyward? Were you talking about Cardano, or were you talking about Bitcoin, dude? I'll go back to it. Remember, market makers and the whales are looking at the same thing. Oh, yeah, and they're not stupid. Like, come on. They're not stupid, guys. They make money off of the quote-unquote stupid people. The people who don't know what they're doing is how they make their money. Same thing with exchanges. So for Cardano, all right. Where over here? Were you talking about right over here? Trying to see. Do you think it's just a long squeeze before going long? For Bitcoin, honestly, dude. Well, I want to make sure I answer Skyward's question, but so right now, I don't. Again, I've said this before. I think the bear market has one leg left. One leg. I think the MACD is showing us that. The oscillators are showing us that. It's pretty clear that this bear market is getting exhausted. It is looking very exhausted. If you're looking at this at a charts perspective, you're just seeing straight exhaustion from bears, like over and over again. So, yes, explain what the wedge represents. Sorry. Yeah. So the wedge is essentially what you're doing here is you are. So you have your bottom level of support, which is our yellow lines. The yellow lines are the wedge. And right here you have your resistance levels. So you're falling over here, and essentially what you're doing is you're squeezing this together. So it's bouncing, it's ricocheting off the support and the resistance. And so what you do here is you're squeezing yourself. So over here it starts out pretty broad, right? Starts out pretty broad, comes down, then in, and this is where your wedge starts forming. So down, then up, then down. This is your heart line. You hit your heart line, down again, hit your heart line, down again. Then you bounce up, hit the top resistance. You're coming back down. You're still squeezing. So you can see the price action here. It's squeezing, 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 squeezing. And now it's squeezing pretty hard because you're getting towards the end of this rising wedge. And what you do here is with the falling formation pattern like this, you're essentially just ricocheting and eating through, you're eating through all of the bear's momentum, all of the bear power. You could even say all of the buy wall, or all of the sell walls, excuse me. Yeah, all of the sell walls. I always get this mixed up. I don't know why. So essentially what you're doing here is you're ripping through sell walls. It's kind of similar to that of how an ascending triangle works. Instead of all of the flat instead of it being just a flat line and you're just eating through sell walls up here, what you're doing is people are adjusting their sell prices downwards with this resistance line instead of this being a flat resistance line. So they're adjusting it downwards because they can't just keep it all flat, because that wouldn't make any sense to keep all your cells up here. So they're adjusting it with the resistance, and each time you're touching this, you're falling. And as the price drops, supply and demand increases. Just like the one in the bears, like people are eventually going to stop selling less and less down here. And so that's how this all works, because less people want to sell, and eventually it reaches the price where like no one wants to sell. And then you just have so many people who are like, holy crap, this is a really good buy time, and then it breaks out. So, and then falling wedges are the opposite, or rising wedges, which is something like this, right? You're getting oversold, you're having less people who want to buy it, more people who want to take their profits because it's already up. Here you have more people who want to buy it, and you have no one who wants to take profits down here, right? No one wants to take profits down here. So you have more people who want to buy it than less people who want to take profits, and then so that's what causes this whole thing to make any sense and break out. So that's how you correlate it to like real world application of a falling wedge. Can you show how to determine the measured move on a breakout of a wedge? Hey Brendan, hey, what's up, Psy Girl, welcome. AWS Believer, yes. So let's go ahead and talk about what AWS Believer was talking about before we move on anywhere else, because he had a question about BTC. So BTC longs, do I think that they're just squeezing right now before they break out towards the upside, before they go long? No, I don't. They squeezed, and I mean, so here, let's talk about pennants. So if you guys don't know what a pennant is, essentially it's also called a symmetrical triangle. It usually looks something along the lines of this. So we're going to draw it over here, and this is what it looks like. It's just a symmetrical triangle. You have your flat top, and then it's just as equally going up as it is equally going down. So it's not flat, it's not falling, it's just up and down. They're equal, right? The angles are pretty equal. So that's what you have over here, symmetrical triangle. And essentially what it is it's always going to be a 40% chance of breaking one way and a 60% chance of breaking the other way. So over here, what we have is we have a 60% chance of breaking down, and you can kind of increase that based upon your oscillators and everything and your indicators. But what you have here is you have a bearish pennant. Now, why is this a bearish pennant? What makes a bearish pennant versus what makes a bullish pennant? So a bearish pennant is one that you see here, very large amounts of price volume falling, right? So it's falling, falling, falling. Pennant forms, it's going to fall again, usually, almost always. This is a bearish pennant because essentially think of this as like its connecting stick. This is what makes it bullish or bearish. Now, if this was the opposite and this was a green candle and you had the pennant forming up here, because this is just like up, 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 pennant forms, and then it's going to probably break towards the upside. Now, since this is up, it's going down, 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 pennant forms is probably going to break down towards the downside. So that's what you see here is you see prices getting squeezed, it breaks down towards the downside, and that's just how the pennant works. Now, again, we have a piercing candle over here. It looks like it actually increased. It looks like we pierced again, which is, again, not ideal if you're a bull, because if you pierce this a second time and got a lower low, that means you just ate through a whole lot more of sell walls, or buy walls. So you are eating through bullish bullish divergence over here by sitting on this level, and I think it's only a matter of time until that can't hold itself up anymore because it's just getting devoured right now. I'm supporting Brendan's breakaway from HOC. Yeah, dude. I got, you'd be surprised, dude. I had a lot of nasty messages from people who like, I guess they always love my content, but I had a group of people who didn't want to follow me over to HOC, and then after I was there, I had a group of people who loved me and what I did over there, but they didn't want to watch me on HOC. So I had the people who didn't want to follow me there, and then I had the people who wanted to see me leave there. And so it was like something like, I want to say it was like 85% of my community. And so I've been having health problems too, and I'm starting school again. And so I just told them, I was like, hey, I got to deal with health problems and I got to deal with school. I don't think I can do the time commitment. It's nothing personal, but like, and on top of all that, like the majority of my community didn't want me there. So I was like, all right, I got to move on. So, I did. And so now it's a good thing that I did because, I just, again, being able to do my own thing. Again, it's nothing against them. They treated me amazing over there, but it's more just like what people wanted, right? So I'm that guy you got. I'm that guy you got caught in the middle. Yeah, I got caught in the middle. It was God, dude, that was a mess. I got caught in the middle of that, like pretty hard, but the past is the past. So, where were we? Oh yeah, so Mr. Who was that? AWS Believer. This is what I was talking about, the long squeeze, why I don't think this is really, well, now it's not a squeeze anymore, now it's just dropping, but, yeah. We can go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin longs, I mean. Bitcoin long. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's squeezed, but now it's fallen out. So, like, you're already seeing a new low. So, this squeeze has fallen apart, and so now you're just falling. Much like Bitcoin. Unfortunately, if you are a bull. If you're a bear, again, you're loving this. But if you're a bull, not so much, right? I'm getting some water. All right. Let's take a look at XRP, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin actually. So XRP right here. Do I want to do this to USD or to BTC? Do you guys want XRP to BTC or to USD? I'm gonna look over at chat, and you guys are gonna be like, we don't want XRP at all. I gotta clear this chart up a little bit. I did a trade for a friend over here. I was like, it was like over in here, and I was like, you want to make a good investment? And he was like, yeah. I was like, buy a bunch of XRP right now. And he's like, all right. And this is the arrow where I told him to sell, and he shot it all the way up here, and he's like, all right, cool, thanks, dude. I just bought a bunch of scuba gear, and I was like, no problem. I can do that though, because like I know I'm IRL. Online, you can't do that. Jeez, dude, this thing is just getting wrecked. Yes, sir, moving on. I'll take his fitness says cripple. Cripple or ripple? What's the difference? No. All seriousness, let's take a look at this, alright? Let us actually take a good look at this thing. Wow, that is a beautiful, oh my gosh. Oh, that is a beautiful resistance line. Oh my goodness, I am never moving this thing. Look at how clean this is. Touch up here first, starting point. Can it even go any higher? Oh my god, it can. Can we actually? No, I can't. So that was our starting point. Anyway, that's so clean. My gosh. Making sure that I'm not like breaking these wicks off or anything. Alright, cool. Exactly what is the difference between cripple and ripple? Well, they're interchangeable. You never know. They're basically the same thing. Alright, so all joking aside, now that I have this drawn up, let's go ahead and talk about what this is. So obviously, clear, you guys already know what I'm going to say. This is a falling wedge, much like most of the altcoins right now. They all look pretty much exactly the same, because they all look like just straight falling wedges. Now this resistance line is probably the most beautiful resistance line I have ever seen. I mean, clear, like starting point up here, and then just like how dedicated and how clean this little channel that you have in here is. So clean on the resistance. Now anytime you hug resistance like this and you're not able to break it, you're waiting for an imminent downpour. Of course, that's what happened in XRP. After hugging resistance like this for so long, it's, I mean, just expected that you're gonna get wrecked. I mean, it's just a matter of time. And you're making the fall just so much worse for yourself. So, of course, couldn't break out. Resistance stayed the exact same line the entire bear market almost. So now all the way here, you touch your support. If you have support, we can maybe even correlate this to something else. Nah, not really. So we're going to keep our support line over here. Again, very, very clean. Falling wedge. Ideally, you would want to see a touch point somewhere in this area, but like there just isn't, because it's so odd because of how hard this thing hugged its resistance line, right? So over here again, you're seeing yourself come back down. You touch support, set up your support line now that you have 2 touches on it. Again, ideally you would want 3, but now what you did is you saw yourself touch resistance over here. Now that you've touched resistance, you're looking down to come touch your support again. Now, ideally, in a falling wedge, you would maybe do this and then this, or you just come down here and you just straight touch and then break out. But you want to bounce off support before you break out here. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough volume. You're not going to have enough momentum. And then you're just going to break out sideways, and that's really not what you need to be doing as Ripple. Now, if you just break out sideways and you're doing like little itsy-bitsy stuff, it's not good. Or if you break out and you're just like boop and you just kind of fall back down, you're holding above resistance, like right. If you want to break out of a wedge that is this freaking big, I mean something that's since March, like you want to make sure that you're having like at least a 50% retracement. Now again, it's not going to be a moon candle like what we saw in like January of this year. It'll be something like gradual or whatever, but you want to see like at least a 50% retracement on this. So let's go ahead and just like throw up a fib, and it's like throwing a dart at a board almost. But if we throw a fib retracement up here, let's just like throw it from this area. Swing high, swing low to swing high. Again, 50% retracement would be around this. Wow, I eyeballed that pretty well. It would be around this level of, what is that? 7,348 Satoshis. So there we go. So ideally, that's what you'd want to see. If we take a look at our MACD here, actually let me go ahead and take a look at chat because I have been neglecting you guys way too much. But we get things done in here. We don't waste time. Cripple and Ripple. Well, exactly. Hello, what do you think about MLN? Melonport, excuse me, oh my god. I don't know. I don't know what MLN is, but we can take a look and give you my thoughts on it. Wait, what was that? Oh god, dude, I clicked on a link. God. No! No! That's so unfortunate. Mel. God, dude, what did I click on? What do you think about MLN? All right, let's take a look. Melon, rank number 405, a market cap of 6,000 or 6 million. Sorry. 6.5 million market cap. Launch time of April. Markets it's in. Yeah, I know, but I don't know what that bookmark is, though. That's the scary thing. Yeah, and you guys are gonna... It's like a straight... It's a feminist abortion program that has like pop-ups all over it. Jeez, dude. No, it was like, I went because usually I have like my, never mind. I don't, obviously I need abortion. I mean, obviously. God, dude. Horrible. Cygirl. Okay, so Melon, Cygirl, did you make it through the entire stream last night? No, I fell asleep at 5 a.m. 5 a.m.? Oh, is this Mitch's stream? Dang, dude, 5 a.m., dude. That's so late. I wish I could do stuff like that, but I'm in school. No, I fell asleep. If you click on the first book, no, it was not Pornhub. Okay, thank you, bro. Yeah, dude, we'll take a look at Melon right here. I got wrecked. It was a good time. Oh, shoot, people are drinking, dude. I'm not 21 yet, but I'm 21 in a month. So, dude, come on. You guys already know. So Melon, let's take a look at Melon. Where is it listed? Liqui, Kraken. So, okay, so good. So it's listed on Kraken, which is good. It's listed on Bittrex, which is good. And IDEX, which is good. Liqui, I've never heard of it, never used it, but that's where most of their volume comes from, which is strange. And most of their volume doesn't even come from a BTC pairing. It all comes from their Ethereum. Oh, well, it's all pretty equal. But I think it's weird that their Ethereum pairing gets more volume than their Bitcoin and their Tether, and it gets more volume than Kraken and Bittrex. But if we're looking at like what it does, can we go to the website? What does it actually do? Oh, it's one of these websites. Nothing against it. They're all like the same. Officially founded. Blah, blah, blah. Melon. Melon is the first of its kind autonomous systems designed specifically for the purpose of crypto asset management. As it's back-ended and hosted and decentralized platforms, front-end operations, offset of Ethereum smart contract. Okay, so it's so I'm guessing it's an ERC20 token then. So is it a lot like from reading about it, it looks a lot like Syndicator, which is just a higher market cap coin. I mean, it seems very similar to Syndicator. But I could be wrong. Or I guess it's not. Is it? So when it says asset management, is it actually like trading your assets, your cryptocurrencies for you? Or like, what does it mean by asset management? Because it's a very broad term. Assets can be so many things. So that's what I would want to know. It's not time to buy 5.7 to 6K approximately, but not all in, because if it makes bearish divergence, it can go even lower. Yeah, dude, so we were talking about, let's go ahead and go back to Bitcoin because it's been a while. So we did a whole lot of talking about Bitcoin earlier, right? We were talking about just like everything, what was happening. I mean, it's pretty clear to me everything that's been happening. I called this, but for those of you guys who are new and tuning in right now, I said, yeah, I invested on it. High or low, dude? High or low on what? Dad and Joe 5. Could the fact that it's most traded against Ethereum on one platform mean it's probably one person, group, or group propping it up. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's actually a very good point, Skyward. You don't want to see it happening like that. So like, what makes me nervous is why it's traded on an exchange I've never heard of before to Ethereum pairings more than it is on Bittrex and Kraken, which are two very, very large exchanges, like tier 2 exchanges in cryptocurrency. Why are they getting all of their volume from like, and it's all exactly the same. If you saw it, the volume on it was, oh, it's gone now. The volume was almost identical on all three of them. So 33, 33, 31. So it's just kind of odd. Kind of odd. But again, I don't know too much about him, so I can't say it's like a crap coin or anything. But like, it's kind of like a red flag for me. But I've never heard of Liqui, so I can't say anything. So anyway, let's go take a look at Bitcoin. What are we seeing over here? Of course, we talked about this earlier for those of you guys who are new and tuning in right now. I called this for myself. I said this was going to collapse. Sure enough, it collapsed. I said it was going to find support up here. If it broke this support, then sure enough, you were going to see your next level of support down here. It's playing out exactly what I said. I said, this looks like this is a bearish pennant. If you can't hold this, then you're heading down here. So right now, what you're doing is you're finding support at your 786 fib retracement level. You have a piercing candle through it. You're just eating away at this thing, and I think it's only a matter of time before you come back down and touch this upward support line that you have over here at 1, 2, 3 touches on it. So it's decently well established. You come back down here, probably touch it around $5,900. So we'll see. Hopefully another touch point in here. I would love to see that because that would make a higher low on Bitcoin, and that would put us in a good position here. And so what we could do is hopefully break out of this thing. See this giant resistance lines over here? Hopefully break out of these things. So we'll see. Ideally, that's what we would want to see, but it's not necessarily what we're going to get. Kraken FUD today. Kraken, the 12th largest American cryptocurrency exchange, has laid off 57 employees, which constitutes 10% of its team, reporting to Bloomberg. I've never used Kraken, dude. They've been sketchy. I've connected into investors. Yeah, I completely agree. Am I tracking whale movements at the moment? Like sometimes. To be honest, dude, I don't. So I used to care a lot about whales. I don't really anymore because whale, I don't know. I just don't feel like it matters as much right now. Or it doesn't matter as much in Bitcoin. I mean, of course, in altcoins, it matters a lot. But on Bitcoin, yes, it still has a very, very low market cap of like $100 billion, which is still very, very low. But like, I don't know. I just don't care. Like, the TA has been extremely, extremely respected as of lately. So I just do my thing with TA. I correlate it with some news and work my way up from there. Kraken is being added to BitMEX index. Something big is either coming to Kraken or MEX. Oh, dude, the MEX. The MEX is, I don't know how I feel about the MEX, dude. The MEX is like such a, like, if you don't think the MEX manipulates the market, then like, come on. I know like none of us can prove that, but like BitMEX is so known for it. They're like, oh hey, by the way, we're going offline for maintenance right now. And then like the price drops and they're like, oh hey, we're back. Oh, what? We sold a lot of Bitcoin? What? No, we didn't just buy back because God. They literally like, oh man, it's just so bad. Purposely wreck their customers and the price of Bitcoin. Anyway, what do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see with some TA? Do you guys want to hear about some TA? Do you guys want to hear about some news? Let me correlate with you guys a little bit instead of me just talking about like what I think, because I've already pretty much, honestly, we've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes, so I pretty much covered everything that I needed to. So I want to like hear it from you guys. What do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to learn? Do you guys have any questions? Like Like, you guys hit me up. The stream's for you guys. So I've pretty much gone through and I've already said my thoughts on Bitcoin, where I think it's going to go for myself. And we've gone through all of that. We've gone through the altcoins like Ethereum. So I want to hear what you guys have. If you guys have any questions, you guys want me to repeat something, you guys let me know. BitMEX is building a huge mining facility close to me. That's pretty cool, dude. I would love to go tour one at one of those huge mining things. I think that would be so cool. I want to get a miner, dude, but I'm broke. I'm a broke college student. Check your oh god. Check your DM on Discord and view this chart. Same exact thing that happened. Oh yeah, so if you guys haven't already, go ahead and join the Discord, or you guys can follow me on Twitter. It's all in the description stuff below, so you guys can scroll down there and find all of that. So you guys can join the Discord. It's free. We just kind of like talk and chat in there. And I'm very, very fast at responding to everyone. So if you guys, again, ever have any questions, don't be nervous or scared to shoot me a message on Discord or comment in the general chat or something. I'm not going to judge you. I'm a very chill guy. But with that being said, like, I do like hold everyone accountable, sort of. So like, if someone is throwing up a chart that's like not necessarily right, or if they have a question about it, I'm like, hey, like good work, dude, we're learning. But like, in the same sense, like, I'll help you like learn the right stuff. But we keep it very real. We keep it very real. I want to be, okay, so essentially this is the overarching view. I've been talking to people about this. So cryptocurrency is full of a lot of scum. It really is. Cryptocurrency is full of a lot of scum and fake people and people who are good talkers, but they don't know what they're talking about. They can talk the talk all they want. They have people give them trades because they don't know how to trade themselves, and they just put themselves in front of a camera and talk about things. And then they tell you what to invest your money into, and then you end up getting wrecked. I mean, there's numerous amount of people, like, am I allowed to say names? But like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say names, but like, there are people in this community, YouTubers, a lot of them, who don't know a clue what they're doing, and they're all scum. And then if you try to ask for advice, then they just make fun of you. They make fun of your charts. They make fun of your lack of knowledge. And then they tell you, and then they don't know how to trade. It's just super frustrating. So what I want to do is be able to hold like an accountable, trustable, like real community where it's actually helping people learn, helping people grow, understand the knowledge, understand what's happening, in a place where it's not just going to be a bunch of BS and lies, you know? Because I'm just tired of all the scum in crypto, dude. It gives it a bad name. It's just a big scandal, dude. A guy was doing trade signals and stole $250,000 from his community. Like, what a dick. $250,000 from the people who support him. And no wonder people are getting out of cryptos, because, like, idiots like him. Alright, dude, I'll check my Discord. Oh, dude, that's Dubs. What's up, Dubs? I didn't know that was Dubs. Dubs loves the mechs, dude. If you guys don't know Dubs, Dubs is like Young Prodigy in the chat. That's what we have right now. We have Young Prodigy. Dubs is a mastermind. Dubs has been in crypto for almost as long as I have, dude. He's been around for a while. He's a crazy good trader, dude. Honestly, Dubs, you're one of the best leverage traders I've seen. He's currently doing a challenge to go from 0.01 BTC to 1 BTC. So bless his soul, dude. I'm not a leverage trader, so I can't relate to him, but the guy can make it happen. All right, Dad said Neo. Yeah, dude, we'll take a look at Neo. Neo to BTC. Hopefully the Binance exchange is all right for you, my dude. I'll throw up the DM chart on screen and give opinions. Yeah, dude. So, yeah, let's do that, and then we'll get in the Neo here. Skirt, skirt. All right, this is chart 1, chart 2. Bounce. Can I get like the full screenshot, if that makes any sense, Stubbs? Can I get like the full trading view chart, so it's like something like this, so I can see like the price correlation of the Bitcoin So I'm assuming that here. Oh, can I put these side by side? So can I pull up this and then this? Yeah, perfect. So I'm assuming we'll come back to NIO in 1 second, guys. But let's take a look at these charts. So I'm assuming this is this, or this is this, right? Consolidate, of course. Bearish pennant falls down. Bearish pennant. Very, very clear. It was resistance against the 618, and then falls through. Right here we have, well, it's still sitting on the 786. Sorry, I'm reading chat. Oh my God, there were so many comments. I'm sorry. Welcome, Businessman123, Skyward One, Dubs Master, Dagino. Welcome everybody. I'm gonna go through all these questions. Give me 1 second to go through this. Is Ethereum worth buying and holding? I can't tell you whether or not you should buy it. Personally, I do own Ethereum. But like, that's just like one of the things for like legal reasons. I'm not allowed to like actually tell you whether or not you should personally buy it. But personally, I own Ethereum. I bought it recently and I'm happy with my buy. Ethereum is dead. Competitors have made it useless at this point. Yeah, so although I do own Ethereum, let's talk about what Dubs just said. I don't own a lot of Ethereum. I own 1 Ethereum, and that's it, because I think that there are better versions of it out there. Personally, I might be in the minority here, but I think EOS is a better version of Ethereum. So I own more EOS than I do Ethereum because I only hold a very small amount of Ethereum. Again, I only hold 1, and that's worth like $200 right now, so it's nothing significant, but it's one of those things that I will hold and probably sell later and buy some more of another cryptocurrency with. So, but yeah, competitors are currently beating out Ethereum. Granted, it is still larger than them, but the competitors are doing a better job at doing what Ethereum was meant to do than Ethereum is currently doing. Superman, Crypto Crow, long list there. Oh yeah, JR Business, Sniper's Tube. I was looking at someone the other day, dude. I forget his name. He went onto the Bitcoin chart the other day and he looked at it and he said, I don't know how he did this. I like went into the chat and I was like, dude, you are going to kill your followers. He went onto this chart right here. He said, this is a cup and handle. You buy right now at the top of the wedge. He goes, you buy now. This is a cup and handle, guaranteed profit. This is when you want to buy. If you're not buying here, then you know whatever. You don't know how to trade. And I was just in awe of this guy. I forget his name, dude. He had like 10K subs. All these people were like, dude, great call, great call. I'm learning so much from you. And like, look at this, dude. Every one of his subscribers that he told to buy up here, I feel horrible for them. And they're listening to idiots like this guy. It just blows my mind. All right. Yes. Just like NIO, only here as, yeah, I don't own any NIO. Tradable asset now. Since early 2012, dude. Yeah, dude. I was 2011, very end of 2011, I think. It's been so long. It was like my freshman year at high school, so it was a long time ago. NIO devs have basically abandoned the project. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy any NIO right now. Leah is far superior. Is far superior to NIO. Of anything that matters. ELA. Oh my gosh, you guys are blowing up chat right now. I can hardly keep up with it. Funfair is gambling place, right? I believe Funfair is a gambling for cryptocurrencies. Mr. Dadino. Haven't used any. I'm gonna have to make this chat bigger because I can't even read it. Jeez. Haven't used any exchanges that ELA is on. What's the best in your opinion? ELA, like, hold on. I'm sure I'm talking about the right thing here. Like the cryptocurrency ELA? If it's the cryptocurrency ELA, I have never traded it. But best exchanges in my opinion right now, I think you have BitMEX, if you're allowed to use it. BitMEX. Oh, I thought this broke. You have BitMEX, you have Binance, Coinbase, Coinbase Pro. Again, there you're going to have stupid high fees. But I think that those are the safest exchanges. If you want to expand your things outwards, Bittrex isn't too bad of one either. And I've heard of a lot of my subscribers using Gemini and some of those other United States ones, CoinSquare, some of those. But I think you have to be careful with the exchanges that you use, because you use the wrong one, could get yourself in trouble. Cardano got smacked. Excellent, so I can buy. I don't think Dubs likes Cardano. I think I own a little bit of Cardano right now, but I think if I remember right. Fitness has wrecked. I believe insiders are dumping knowing the ETF. Oh, dude, power to achieve. Yeah, completely. I already made I think I made a video about that, because it's a long story. We'll get into that later. When I got into crypto on last Christmas, I never thought I would have these prices. In extreme conditions, all crypto depends on BTC. So why do all the alts TA? They don't always essentially, Dadino. So there's been a couple times where the alts don't follow BTC, and instead the alts follow Ethereum. And so it's happened, I believe, 3 times in the past year. One was last January, and then I think it was last March, and then about a month ago was the 3rd time it happened, where you had the alts following Ethereum instead of following Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was holding its value. It's kind of going up and down a little bit. But you had Ethereum tanking, and so all the alts were following Ethereum because Ethereum was tanking, and all the altcoins were following it downwards. That's why you saw all of them lose so much value so fast, because Ethereum, of course, having a significantly lower market cap than Bitcoin, which means essentially the lower market cap means that it can go up and down faster. It's more volatile. So with Ethereum tanking, all the altcoins were tanking just as fast, if not faster. Usually the lower market cap you got, the faster they tanked. And so they were following Ethereum. Now, as of recently, they started following Bitcoin again. It reset itself. Usually what this happens, it doesn't last for long. When they follow Ethereum and when they branch off of Bitcoin, it doesn't last for long, and it's either really good or really bad, and it's no in between. So, again, because they're following something that has a significantly less market cap than Bitcoin, it's going to get more volatile, whether that's up or down. Again, in January, it was up, up, up. Recently, it's been just crashing down. So whenever they do a follow Ethereum, you're going to have very, very volatile price action, but it's either going to be up or down. It's not going to be anything in between that. So again, now they're following Bitcoin again, but they do not always follow. They don't always follow Bitcoin. So there are very few times, again, only 2 or 3 times in the past year, that they have followed something else. You hear about the new SEC commissioner. He wants to reform some regulations, which could make ETFs for crypto a lot easier. I actually haven't heard about that yet. Dubs. Those prices are discounts for the holders. Dascoin, ICO platform. That's all one needs to keep it simple. Dascoin? I never heard of Dascoin. Oh yeah, she sent me a link. Okay, shoot. Alright, so anyway, let's talk about Dub's charts, because I totally forgot. And we gotta talk about Neo. We're gonna talk about everything over here. Open original? Haha. Boom. Heck yeah. Consolidate, sweep low. Yeah, so Dubs, we were talking about this a little bit. So my personal thoughts over here is comparing these two. Can I do this? Essentially, I think what you're saying here is that you consolidate, drop, and then you have your sweep low. And now is where the time we could see it bounce. It's possible. I think it is possible. Right now, we're at a time where I don't want to make any calls until I see what happens at the 786, because this 786 is barely holding on. I mean, it's been sitting with the candle body closing on this thing for the entirety of the stream. Of course, you have a piercing candle down here that pierced below it, but it's still holding above the 786 right now, but barely. So ideally, I want to see what happens with the next candle body closing. That's in 22 minutes. I want to see what happens there, because if it can't hold this level, you can bet that it's going to come down and touch this third form of support. Now, of course, you have 1, 2, 3 touches on it, so it's kind of a verified support line. So ideally, oh man, I just screwed up my thing. Ideally, what you do is you come back down here, hit around $5,950, and this would be a pretty strong support. So this is probably where you would see a solid bounce if it doesn't hold the 786. Now again, it could hold the 786. You could see something similar, like what we saw up here with the bearish pennant. But ideally, I mean, it's very possible. The 786 is the last fib retracement that you have until you see the 100% retracement level. But above the 100% retracement level, you also have this upward support line. So as long as you land and you touch off this thing, you're going to get a higher low, which would be awesome, because you don't want to double bottom here, which is really a crucial thing. You do not want to double bottom here. So keep all that in mind. So yeah, so could this? It could very well be, because again, you have your 786 retracement. It could hold on this level, but if not, it's going to be it's not going to be that much. It's going to have maybe a $200 drop. Which isn't too much further. But again, the bounce, you could see a measured move all the way up to this line of resistance that we've had for a while now. So correlating these two charts, we have essentially two forms of resistance over here. So of course you have these resistance lines pretty well established. They've been around for a while. Especially this top one with like 4 touches on it, coming back up here. So you're gonna have to break through this resistance at some point. If not, you're gonna see lower prices, and that's not ideal. So you're gonna come back up here. You're gonna touch these resistance lines around $7,000, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, so that's like looking. It could have like another $1,000 bounce. But right now, again, it's too hard to say anything. Dubs, something I was showing everyone earlier, and I'll go ahead and pull back up here right now, is the daily and the weekly. They're looking pretty bullish for the most part. Both of them are. So let's talk about this, right? Let's pull up our MACD, because we're talking about our oscillators a little bit. I know I'm ignoring chat here. That said, it's going 2.6 in a few days when BT hits around 557 to 6,000. 30-40% now price. Yeah, so another thing is, I think someone was talking about it earlier. Also, welcome, Leonard. Welcome, dude. People at the top, they're always like, remember when XRP was like 20 cents? And remember when Ethereum was $200 and stuff? Oh man, I wish I would kill to get back to and buy at prices like that. And now that the prices are like that, all the people who were in and all the people who were saying that they wish they could have bought then aren't buying now. And it's this whole mentality, it's this whole reverse crazy mentality of people who buy at the top and sell at the bottom, and then when it gets down to the price that they said that they would always wish that they could have ever bought at it in the first place, they never buy down there because they're too scared. So that instead of buying at the lowest risk possible, they start buying at the highest risk possible, because they feel like it's more secure to buy in this giant uptrend when it's all blowing up again, to buy when it's low. And in reality, like no experienced investor does stuff like that. Right? No experienced investor ever buys like towards the top, right? You want to buy before it essentially breaks out. So, okay, so here's what we were talking about, Dubs. This is for you. Anyway, so I had to get that out because I see so many people do that. And I know I'm going to see it in the next bull run. I know in the next bull run, you're going to have someone come in, and you're going to have someone, and then they're going to be like, man, I wish I could have got into crypto when it was cheap. I got in when it was at 20K, and then... So, of course, here you are seeing lower levels of negative momentum, but you're keeping your positive ones up here. So, again, keeping this positive. Look at how many touches. 1. Keeping it at this. Of course, you have the great FOMO, which kind of like broke the charts. But you're keeping this level in here. You're keeping your positive oscillators pretty much at the same level. But what you're seeing is your negative oscillators consecutively become lower and lower. So you're seeing lower levels of negative momentum, lower levels of extremacy with your MACD oscillators. Again, the weekly is looking even more bullish than this, because if you look at the weekly, let's talk about this thing. The weekly, oh, well, now I have to delete all these stupid circles I just drew. the weekly is looking like this. I mean, of course, you had your great FOMO, and now here you are. You're seeing lower levels of negative momentum, and now you're just seeing straight bear exhaustion. So, again, when I said this, when I say a market reversal, I'm not saying that we're going to go break 20K or anything like that. I mean, that's just silly. A market reversal simply means that we're going to enter into a bull market, and you can retest some of these higher prices that you've seen on Bitcoin, like maybe like $7,000, $8,000, or excuse me, $8,500. You can retest some of these levels if you get into a market reversal. I'm not saying that you're just going to go all the way back up to your all-time high and just blow through it, because that's not going to happen. But I think you could have a market reversal here. Go back into a bull market. This has always been my prediction. I think you were going to have your bear market. It was going to blow up. You're going to have your extreme bear market. You're going to have a bull market, and then another bear market, and then it was going to have a second bull market, and then after that second bull market, you're going to break this high. So that's been my prediction. I'm still holding to that. So take that what you will. Again, MACD is pretty clear right now. The bears are running out of room here. They really are. No matter how you want to draw this, it just looks bad if you're a bear. Now, granted, this is a large time scale. This is the week, so I'm not saying it's going to end today or tomorrow, but I think over the course of the next couple months, you're going to see this bear market end. So take that with what you will. Go back to the 4 hour. And we're just blowing through stuff today. All right. What if the BART algo returns? By the way, if you accidentally move the chart drawing, just hit Control Z to move it back to. Oh, dude, that's good to know. Thank you so much, Dubs. I actually didn't know that. I've screwed myself doing stuff like that. Get wrecked. Waiting for the bearish tweet from That's so true, dude. So like one of the big things right now is you just counter trade CNBC. Whatever they say, just do the opposite, because they're just like, they're silly. I don't want to say anything like weird, but like, come on, dude. Whenever they come out with a price prediction, they're like BTC on its way back to 10K, and then you have like it tank. Like up here, they were like on the road. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin experts predict Bitcoin to 10K by the end of the month, and then you have it just like get destroyed. Just counter trade CNBC, dude. Kappa. The bearish tweets from CNBC. Yeah, they come out and they're like, Bitcoin to 1K, dude, you better freaking buy, right? No, I'm just messing around, but like for real, CNBC is just silly, dude. With all their crypto, they have some good articles, but like other times they're just like with all these crazy predictions that they do. Problem is people having a problem with selling at the top. Fear of missing out on potential gain. Exactly. I completely agree. You had so many people that might have bought down here, but they didn't want to sell back up here because they were like, well, what happens if it goes back up to 20K? And then they don't, and then now they're down here. And they're like, oh, I got greedy. So that's why you gotta like layer your sells, if anything. Or like take profits. Take some profits for yourself. Looks like BTC is finally starting that move down. Been waiting for it. Is it actually? Still holding the 786. Crazy stuff. Skyward said Brendan Mitch also uses the 886 fib. Might offer some insight. So what the 8 yeah, we could use it. I mean, if we get that low, then I might throw it up. But that would be somewhere like down in here. So I don't know. I don't know if it'd be any strong enough because you're running out of candles at that point. You're running out of candles to really do much with. I guess you do have some over here. Click the link in Discord when you get a chance. CNBC dumps on its followers. Oh, God. Oh, is this... Oh, my God. Is this the CNBC one? Because that's the last link I got from you was the CNBC article. Or not, I got the CCN article, not the CNBC article. It's about the new commissioner. Can I take a look at ELA? Absolutely, dude. Actually, I cannot. Because they don't have it on here. But we can take a look at it on here. ELA ranked at number 80. Oh, it's Elastos. Okay. I haven't looked too much into Elastos, dude. Mineable coin. Market cap of $61 million. Total supply of 33 million. It's pretty... It's actually kind of nice. What's the price of it? $7? So a price... oh. But the circulating supply is so low right now. That means that you have like triple this coming into the market. Or triple or quadruple this. Where's it listed? Coinegg, Bank, Huobi, KuCoin, and that's the only ones I know. So you have $230,000 from Coinegg. I don't know what Coinegg is. Never used them. I never used LBank. I know Huobi and I know Huobi. Huobi. I don't know how to pronounce that. But never used some of these crazy exchanges. What does it do? I'll tell you though. Let's take a look at it. I do have to go fairly soon, but not yet. Elastos is the safe, reliable internet of the future, built utilizing the blockchain. This technological breakthrough provides the first completely safe environment on the web where decentralized applications are detached from the internet, also permitting full scalability to millions of users. Elastos enables the generation of wealth through ownership and exchange of your data and digital assets. Welcome to Smart Web. All right. They're partnered with Neo. And they got a rocket ship. So what? Neo, Huobi, KuCoin, Bitmain. So yeah, I mean, they got some big names in here. I mean, I'd have to do more look into it, but exchange of your data and digital assets. Interesting. How long has it been around for? Since March, yeah. There was like a big boom in March where everyone was creating all the new coins. It was, I mean, it was great for me. I was making tons of videos about them. Check out XLM. Insider buying going on right now. Oh gosh. All right, let's take a look. I want to see what happens with Bitcoin, dude. We have 10 minutes on the candle. After the new candle, I'll probably hop off. But oh, I've been here for an hour and 50 minutes. XLM to BTC. Let's do this thing. Shoot, it broke its 50-day EMA. Go ahead and get rid of this thing. Well, making it way too obvious. A whale hit up a Fred. A mine to buy 64 million USD worth over a few weeks. 10 mil a week. My gosh. Watch Asia closely over the next month or two for XLM related events. It's a solid project. Moneymaker, welcome, dude. Great having you here. He said it's a solid project for 10 years now. What project are you talking about, Moneymaker? Aeon is a great buy. I do not know too much about Aeon. Is that how you pronounce it? Do not know too much about Aeon either. Everyone boasting, privacy coins and amazing tech. Aeon is better tech than behind it. I actually don't know what. Okay, no, I have heard of it. I have heard of it, but I don't know much about it. I'm gonna be honest. Yo, the whole Quarian. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome, dude. Great to have you here. We're just doing a little bit of review. We're about to do some TA on Neo, or on XLM, excuse me. Take a look at this, because according to Dubs, there is some insider trading going on right now. Insider buying, which is not too common in the market that we have right now. So let us take a look at this. What do we have over here? Yeah, okay. So pretty clear line of resistance over here. It's going to be our primary line. It's going to be overarching over everything else. Set this here, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 touch points. But if we're looking more in a short-term scale, what we're going to do is we're going to make this bigger, and we're going to be touching these lines. So it's going to look something along the lines of this. It's probably going to end up playing out like a falling wedge or something like that, but let's take a look. Yeah. So, yeah. Falling wedge on XLM. Again, it's pretty close towards the top, getting rejected from your 200-day EMA. Now falling back down onto support. So you have a candle body closing over here, one over here, and almost 2 over here. So keep this in mind. It wouldn't be surprising if you came back down here, got close to your support again, bounced out. But again, all these altcoins pretty much have the same patterns right now. They all look like falling wedges. So if you did break out of this, what you could see is maybe yourself come back up here, retest levels of this primary resistance line that you need to break, and you'll see where you'll go from there. So what would be really cool, ideal, is if you broke out of this falling wedge with decent volume, broke back up, or came back down, then broke up, and then tested this level in here. So that would be your ideal place. Oh, I'm starting to get tired. Whew. Just want to clarify that. Yeah, I got you, Dubs. Aeon? Elastos? Oh, okay. Have they really been around for 10 years, Elastos? I did not know that. XLM is just distinguished from other alts based on fundamentals. So yeah, so Dubs, oh man, I want to keep you on. I'm so tired. I'm ready to call the live stream quits. But I want to see this new candle. What are your thoughts on XLM versus... Actually, well, I think I know what your thoughts on XRP. But do you like XLM? Go back to BTC here. I mean, let's take a look at our MACD and RSI. I mean, right here, it's looking pretty bearish. But again, it's the same thing that we're seeing. You're seeing bear volume dry up. So I think it's kind of inevitable until we have a large move towards the upside here pretty soon. And when I say pretty soon in like a relative time frame, like not like today, obviously, but like give it the next month or two, and I think you're gonna have a pretty large move coming for cryptos. It's hard to say that. It's clear bear exhaustion. Just like looking at all these charts, you're seeing bearish exhaustion. No matter how you look at this, it's so clear. So, especially on like larger time scales, that's like the easiest way to tell. Let's collab on a live stream someday. Man, get some sleep. Yeah, dude, Dubs, we should totally do that, dude. That'd be great. I'd love to have you on here. I'm trying to get back into the flow of things because I think, you know, I worked for other people, so I let this channel just like sit with no content on it for like 4 months. And so when I used to get like 50 people active or like 1,000 views per video, now it's like 100 views per video. Partial, in fact, to like what's happening with the market, but also because I left this channel for 4 months just sitting with no content on it. So that was kind of my fault. But we're back. Want the next XVG? Check out SC. Just like with Litecoin, Bitmain blew it up with miners, and later the price will fly. Let's check it out. SC. Oh, Sia coin. Good old Sia, dude. Taking a look at it over here on my other monitor. I wouldn't be opposed to buying some Sia. I don't own any right now, but like I wouldn't be opposed to buying some. Have a good script. We can set it up. We can set it to monitor. Sounds good. I have an idea for views. Keep a 24-hour live stream just showing bot calls while you're not here to stream. Maybe. I don't really trust bots or anything. I've just seen so many failed bots and so many fake ones in AI and all that. I know we have a good one in the Discord, which is like actually a true AI, but I've seen so many ones that are like, hey, this is an AI, and it's like actually not. Or like, hey, this is a 90% accurate trading AI, and then they're just like always garbage. The Bishop's the first one that I've actually seen that's not just like a total scam or a cash grab or anything. Okay, maybe it is trash, but like I'm talking to the ones Bishop's good compared to the ones I've seen. Put that in perspective for you. That's why I have such a hard time talking about bots or AI or anything, because every one I've ever seen makes Bishop look good, and that's putting things in perspective. So if Bishop looks good to the things I've seen, dude, the ones I've seen are horrible. Like they just it's like the guy who was comparing to the Bitcoin rising wedge to a cup and handle. Like that's what stuff I'm talking about. Like people being like, this is a good buy price. Like I see AI say stuff like that, like place long here to 8,000. Like what? So then I see Bishop and it'll be like short here. I'm like, it's already better than the AI I've seen. Anyway, I don't do AI or trade bots, or I haven't found a good one yet. I think you have a good one or something like that. Just a little FYI. I've never followed. Again, it's like I said a second ago, I've never followed an AI or a bot's trading things, Bishop included. I would never follow a bot. I trust myself more than I trust a robot. VeChain, Thor, VET, thoughts? VeChain was in the gutter, dude, last time I checked. Ooh. Yeah, this isn't it. Is VeChain vet? Yeah, it is. Oh, VeChain Thor. What is that? VTHO. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. We don't have any pairings for it on here. I know on CoinMarketCap it's ranked at number 1,731, so I would probably not invest in it. But granted, I don't know anything about it, so I don't invest in coins that I don't know what they do. So, unfortunately, getting hazy, dude. Whew. Elastos and Bitcoin merge mining. Fanco under Elastos, Warren Buffett of China. The next Apple. Yeah, dude, I'll have to take a look at it. Again, I haven't put too much time into Elastos. I've very, very little time. Anyone ever used Profit Trailer? Nope, I have not. Elastos is following the path of Bitcoin. We will see. In a bull run, VeChain will do great. What is this? Dubs, though, hit me up on Discord, dude. We'll get together a script or something, dude, and I'll have you on here, because I definitely love to get like your thoughts on TA, because you're a good guy at TA. You're one of the few people that I've met that are like actually trustworthy at technical analysis. Oh gosh, good old VeChain. Where's the? Hold on. I want to pull up the best vet shale. Alright. Looks like Binance is the way we're going. What do we see over here? Bullish divergence. Yes, clear. Granted, it's going to follow Bitcoin. So, I mean, you had bullish divergence. You got one candle out of it. Now you're seeing, I mean, you saw overwhelming bearish divergence here. But you see bullish divergence over here. So, I think you're seeing, I mean, we're seeing what we're seeing on a lot of these altcoins right now, no matter how you want to draw this, really. You're seeing bear exhaustion. So, we'll see how this plays out. It's a pretty new coin. I don't like to do too much stuff with new coins here because they all play out the same. They always dump, and then they find a bottom, and then they shoot up a lot, and then like all of them look like this. Oh, the script idea sounds good, dude. Dubs, yeah, dude. I'll have Dubs on here one time, guys. Dubs is another great guy. He's really good at TA. He's been in the market almost as long as I have, and honestly, I would say he's been in it longer. Even though I was in it in 2011, I didn't stay in it from 2011 to 2018. I was very in and out. In between then, I was in it 2011, 2012, and then pretty much started back heavily in 2017. But like 2014, 15, 16, I just like kind of lost interest, to be honest. But now I'm back for good. Great information. Subscribe to that channel. Press that like. Thank you so much. Power to achieve. Great. Yo, what's up, Chad? Great to have you here, dude. My name's Brad. You are Chad. Together we are Brad and Chad. Please check a Walton chain. All right, we'll do Walton chain, and then we'll do BTC, and then I'm gonna head out because I am really tired. What is? Oh, is it? Whoa. Alright, first things first. Let's do this. Whew. So we can chart something here. Connect the dots. This one might actually even be a... never mind. It's going to be a falling wedge. Just like all the other altcoins. Alright, so what's this level looking like? Alright. So again, it's basically the same stuff that we've seen in the other altcoins. They're all looking pretty similar right now, but line of resistance, falling wedge, you're at the top of a channel just like most of the stuff was, falling back down. However, this thing being so close to resistance, I mean, if it does want to come back down and actually break out of this falling wedge, I mean, just got rejected 3 times in a row. If it wants to come back down, it's going to have a ways to go. That's a pretty hefty fall. So, I mean, it's below both of its EMAs right now. So, like, you would have a hefty fall before you broke out. Like, seeing yearly lows. Close to all-time lows, honestly. You would get really close to all-time lows. So, keep that in mind. If this thing does want to respect this rising wedge, you're going to probably come back down somewhere close to all-time lows because you're getting rejected consistently up here, and that's not a good sign if you're a bull. However, if we want to take a look at our MACD and our... Yeah, I mean, you're seeing higher levels of negative momentum on your MACD consistently. 1, 2, 3. Very slight, but it's still higher levels of negative momentum, which is not what you want to see at all. Bearish divergence. What was that? I swear I just heard something. Bearish divergence over here. So keep all that in mind when you're looking at this. We'll see. This is just starting to play out now, but I will say something that could happen here from the looks of this, just from like my time in TA. When you have something like this happen, usually what this does is it gives you double bullish divergence. So you could have something like this play out where this comes down a little bit, you get a lower high, and then it can break out. So you can have yourself set up. You can have yourself set up over here for bullish divergence pretty easily. So that's usually when you see candle body or MACD action like this, it usually sets you up for double bullish divergence. Just from like experience and looking at situations like this so many times, it almost always plays out like double bullish divergence. So we'll see. It'll come back down here and we'll see it play out. RSI could be hooking right now, very slightly. Share this channel with your friends. Thank you so much, Power to Achieve. I agree. You guys should share this with your friends. Neo or Zcash long term, currently holding both. I am currently holding neither. And I probably won't buy either of them either. Just because, not to say, okay, I kind of do have things against them, but also I just think that there is better investments. Like if I'm in college right now, so I am very limited on the amount of money that I can invest. So I am not going to put money in Neo or Zcash when I could put it into something else. That's the way I look at it. Take care, brother. I'm out. Yo, Skyward, you have a great day, dude. I'm about to end this live stream anyway, so. Do you think it's the end of the Ethereum and will it go under $100? Is it tanking right now? No. No. I don't. Let's put this on. So this is Ethereum to the USD. Massive, respected, falling wedge. Same thing. I think you can come down here. Maybe hit $150 or something like that. I don't think it's going to go under $100. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's going to end and die. But I could be wrong. I bought Ethereum at $250. I bought one Ethereum, and that's it. And I'm not too dissatisfied with that. I mean, that's one of the things I'll probably hold. You know what? And at the end of the day, dude, if it does die, it's one Ethereum. It's not going to kill me. But we'll see. Again, I think this thing's a massive falling wedge. A 50% retracement on something like this, if it does come down all the way over here, like, let's just even draw it over here. 50% retracements in $800 or a $700 Ethereum. So that's almost triple my money if I bought it $250. So we'll see. I think personally it's going to break out of this falling wedge. Granted, it's getting outperformed. It is. Ethereum's getting outperformed by other coins right now. So keep that in mind. Like EOS and some of these other smart contracts and DApp ledgers are outperforming Ethereum right now. So yeah, guys, that's my thoughts. Anyway, guys, I'm probably going to go ahead and bring this to an end. Thank you guys all for tuning in. If you guys have not already, hit the like and the subscribe button. I do stuff like this pretty consistently. I have a Discord in the link in the description, but you guys are free to join, and I just kind of chat in there. You guys can ask me questions whenever you guys want. I'm always in there, always active. And yeah, it's literally just like the easiest way for you guys to connect with me. It's like if you guys don't know what Discord is, it's kind of like Skype, but better. What two coins are you most bullish on? Faves. EOS, number 1. And number 2. Ooh, that'd be hard, dude. I don't know if I could limit it to a second coin. I would say EOS is by far my number 1, but I don't know. It'd be hard. I just have like a group of cryptocurrencies that I'm trying to build right now. If that makes any sense. So number 2, probably I would say obviously Bitcoin, because it's just the leader of everything. So everything's gonna follow Bitcoin. Pretty much for as long as cryptocurrencies are going to be around, you're gonna have them following Bitcoin or Bitcoin being relevant. So there was a study done. I'm not sure if this is true, but there was a study done saying that if 2% of the world's money was in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or 2% of the world's money was in Bitcoin, or 2% of the world's money was in cryptocurrency, I forget, then it would be close to $1 million of Bitcoin, which makes sense because there's only 21 million in existence. You have around 3 or 4 million of those, which I believe, got lost. So someone had them and then they lost them. And since it's on the blockchain, it's not like you can't just recover your password. And so when you have a couple million of them being lost, now you have around 17 million in existence for 17 billion people. Now the population's only going to keep growing, so that's when you have supply and demand kick in, because it's not a fiat currency. They're not going to just be able to print more and more of Bitcoin. There's a set amount. So now that we have our 17 million Bitcoin for 7 billion, or for 7 billion people, 17 million Bitcoin for 7 billion people, that creates a huge supply and demand issue, which is arguably a problem for Bitcoin. It's still not a problem because, I mean, it's an intangible force that can't get manipulated, but people like the idea of having a higher circulating supply, because essentially what you can do is you can buy a thing for like 1 Bitcoin. If there was like 100 billion of them, then you could buy something for 1 Bitcoin instead of having to pay for things in like a 100th of a Bitcoin, which I don't see as a problem. But just like the whole supply and demand issue for Bitcoin is the big thing right now. So just like looking at the market cap, if it has a $100 billion market cap right now and it's at $7,000, then what's going to happen when it has a $1 trillion market cap, right? Because just think of it kind of like that. I think my roommates just got back. Show them the bot in the DMs. Ask people if they like. Okay, fair enough. Great job. Thank you, Greg. Great show, brother. But I have to go soon. Next time, yeah, dude. Great having you. Thanks so much for coming in here. Chad, thank you so much, dude. Let's pull this up. 6,100. What were you saying, Dubs? Show them the bot in the DMs and ask the people if they'd like to see that streamed for 24 hours, 7 days a week. Would you guys like to see a bot stream for 24 hours, 7 days a week on my channel? Really appreciate the info. Love the live stream. Thank you so much, Chad. Dude, great having you, dude. Hope to see you again. Oh, Ethereum broke $200. Oh, here it comes, boys. So yeah, this thing's it's on its way down. So it broke $200, so now it's yikes. Dude, I wonder if that means Bitcoin's falling, because Bitcoin could have broken. Oh, it barely did. Yeah, Bitcoin broke. The candle closed under. The candle closed under the 786, which is yikes. So it's pretty much calling down here. So again, it's not over yet, but the candle closed underneath your 786 fib retracement. So next price. Yeah, what's up?
You want these clothes in the dryer?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, dude. Those are my roommates. Is BitMEX bringing the price down? I mean, it's possible. It's very possible on Blocksoft. Also, welcome, dude. Awesome. Ethereum is dead. I know how Dubs feels on Ethereum. I say we all just give Dub all of our Ethereum. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to an end. I got to get some stuff done. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Again, we covered a lot here. Covered a lot of coins, what's happening in the market right now, what we expect it to do, and correlated to a lot of cool stuff. So thank you guys so much for just joining in, tuning in here, listening. If you guys haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. And check out the description below, because we have stuff linked to like our Discord, our Patreon, our Instagram, Twitter, all stuff like that. So we have a lot of cool stuff down there. So again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Hope to see you guys here next time. Maybe it'll even be with Dubs. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in here. I'm going to go ahead and bring this thing to an end. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot a message at me over in Discord. All right, guys. See you next time.